Alright folks, well of course you guys already know this, but we are in dire need of Chinese premium tanks for the game, as well as Russians. So if it's not Russians, then it's Chinese, and I'm all for it. Ooh la la, that was sarcasm. Premium Tier 8 Chinese heavy tank, the WZ-111, model number 6. This is actually like the number 5 or number 6 WZ-111 in the game. We have two premium Tier 8s, so the Alpine Tiger and the normal WZ-111, the one at Tier 9, the one at Tier 10, the two tank destroyers. So funny enough, this is actually the number 6 model of the WZ in the game, so that's fun. Also, I do play the game, you know, like it's not my first time. And this looks kind of familiar, right? That's a WZ-51's turret from the Czechs. I have to be sure, but they did not have the 100mm like the 110 or so, but that's the same turret from the Tier 9 Czech heavy. So, space armor turret front package, spotlight, rocket launcher holder or smoke grenade holder, one of the which. Backwards machine gun with the gun shield. So let's take a look at the actual Tier 9 WZ-51 from the Czechs. So Tier 9 Czech heavy tank. Oh no. The little holder for the side for rocket launchers or smoke grenades or whatever. That's there. Spotlight, backward facing gun shield for the machine gun. Space armor package for the turret sides. Oh my god, it's the same turret. You guys stole it. Wait, have to be sure. Yep, the periscopes are the same. The spotlight is the same. What about the two dots on the mantlet? Those little squarish dots. Cannot see from this angle. Fine. We'll give you a pass for now. There is a 17 on the side of the turret, so that is very specific, right? If there's a 17 on the actual preview, well, we'll see. Oh no. God damn it, Winnie the Pooh! You stole everything from us. You stole honey from Rabbit. You stole the freaking Object 140's turret from the Russians and mounting it on the 113. You stole the Patton's turret and mounted it on the Type 59. You stole the Czech turret now and mounted it on the WZ-111. You sons of bitches. There's a 17 on the freaking... Oh no. Oh no. It's the same turret from the Tier 9 Czech heavy tank. When the hell do you steal stuff from them? God damn it. Oh no. It's a premium, like we need more premium Tier 8s for the Chinese. We already have like what, 4 or 5? Sure, I guess. Let's take a look at initial stats. So 100mm or 105, 225mm of pen, which is decent. APCR round, which is fast, supposedly. 360 alpha, that's above average, so that's good. Gold shell is high explosive anti-tank at about 290, which is also decent. And high explosive is high explosive, but aim time is alright. Accuracy could be better, but a Russian-ish of a gun, so it's okay. 8 degrees is pretty good. Also with this turret, the cupola is pretty small, and it's one of the best turrets for the Czech heavy tanks, I think. Because unlike the Tier 8, where the cupola is huge, that doesn't matter. Also, the Tier 10 has a more distinctive commander cupola, so that's the obvious weak spot. But for the Tier 9, it's a lot smaller and rounded, so technically this is the better or the best turret out of all of them. And since you have 8 degrees of gun depression, that's fairly good. So not a half bad haul down vehicle. Carries a lot of ammo, 74 rounds. Standard crew for all the heavy tanks, so that's decent. Top speed of 50, reverse of 15. Pretty decently fast, so not half bad. Horsepower per ton ratio is about 15, so also pretty decent for a heavy. This is more like a assault, like a Object 277-ish of a heavy tank, or T10 of a heavy tank, where hull armor is not the best, but turret armor is pretty good. So using more of a mobility to attack, like a medium tank, than a slow 𝘈-100-esque of a playstyle. Hull traverse is fast for a heavy, so decent enough. Turret traverse is alright. It has 1,550 health, so like all premium tier A heavy tanks, average. 120 at the hull front, 120 at the hull sides. That's a decent side armor, but then again, it could be only under the space armor, not for the entire tracks. So we'll take a closer look at the actual WZ-111s. It's all about the same, right? For the Chinese heavy tanks, about 120 at the front and at the sides, but the tier 10 obviously have a little bit more armor. WZ-111, yep, 120, 120 for the hull front and hull sides, but the tier 10 has 140, I think. 140 at the hull front. Tier 9 is the same as tier 8s. Yep, tier 9 is the same as tier 8s. So we'll take a look at the armor later on, but decent enough armor. Also, the view range is not bad, 390. That's exceptionally better than the 350 for the Russian tanks. So that's not a half bad view range. Radio could be better, but 600 is enough. So initial stats of this vehicle is alright. It's pretty decent, especially with none of the heavy tanks' weak spots for the Chinese, because it's a stolen turret from the Czechs. All of the premium Chinese heavy tanks have a commander cupola and loader cupola weak spot that is very prominent, and this vehicle doesn't have it, so that's a big plus. Also, it gets gun depression, whereas normally it has 5, so 5 is pretty crap. Well, it's Russian, but 8 degrees of gun depression is a whole lot better than 5, so a whole lot better. 6 degrees for the 112, but there's also the stolen Object 140's turret for the 113. Already covered this at the beginning of the year, but you stole everything from us. You take everything, you sons of bitches. So still commander cupola and loader cupola weak spot for the 113 with the Object 140's turret. So yeah, this might be the best hull down Chinese premium at tier 8 because of the lack of a weak spot, obviously. Alright, let's take a closer look at the in-game screenshots. Now, unfortunately, there are no HD pan around, so we have to make do, but looks like for the model, they change out the machine gun, backwards machine gun for the 𝘈𝘭𝘪𝘴𝘴. Obviously plagiarizing, so you have to change that out, but the 17 is still there. As well as the rocket holder or rocket launcher holder or whatever this thing is. Okay. The spotlights are the same. The little 2 square notches on the turret manlet is gone, so that's a plus. It's the same turret. Is it the same from the back? Alright, remember this image. Kind of a sloped pike shape or rectangular shape of a back of the turret with likely counterweights as additional armor, little hook. So let's take a closer look again at the back of the WZ-51. Oh no. Alright. Little hook, trapezoids, rectangular shape, the little 2 handrails. It's the same turret. God damn it, guys. Come on. You just changed the machine gun out, sure, but change it to the 𝘈𝘭𝘪𝘴𝘴. And that's practically it. God, it's the same freaking turret. You stole from the Czechs. Well, also has 7 degrees of gun depression. Huh, interesting. But this thing has 8. It has 1 more degrees, even though it could be the smaller caliber of the gun compared to the 122, so that might be the big deal. But 100% crew training bonus comes with about 2,200 DPM baseline. That is pretty good. Accuracy could be better, but 0.38 is average, so not half bad, not half good. It's average. Aim time is alright, 2.7. So you probably would want vents to help out with both of these, but 8 degrees of gun depression, 23 elevation. Pretty good, especially for the gun depression. Elevation is also a plus from the regular 20 or so. Turret traverse speed, 25 degrees per second. Decent. Alpha is alright. Penetration is above average. Average is about 210 or so that's good. 550 health, or 1,550 health. Average, a little bit above average. The same armor as the WZ-111s, so the same armor for the turret should be for the WZ-51. Yeah, the same turret for the WZ-51. So this turret is actually pretty good. I think it's the best turret out of all the Czech heavy tanks. So that's why I use a single shot rather than the autoloader. Mostly because you can take your time. Whereas the autoloader, cupola is a weak spot, but it's pretty small sliver. So it's about 200 millimeters effective. But it's a very small target compared to the Chinese heavy tanks. Don't even think about penetrating the turret sides. It has 50 space armor and 225 underneath. Mantlet is super thick. Don't even think about it. So this turret is actually the best turret for the Czech heavy that the Chinese stole. As for the hull armor, the WZ-51's turret is at tier 9 obviously, but tier 9's WZ-111's hull is alright. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. It's like a T10 in a sense. So the same 120 for the front and the sides. You get some areas of 331, so don't shoot there. Shoot mostly at the middle plate, so that's about 210-ish. Or shoot the lower plate, obviously. Side scraping is only 80 for the hull between the tracks. It's it's not, where the hell is the 120 from? It's 90 for the space armor at the sides, but where the hell do you get 120 for the side armor? The frick? You lied to us. There's no 120 for the side armor. It's a very small sliver at around the vent exhaust. What? The 120 is behind the vent exhaust. Oh, come on, nobody shoots there. Everywhere you go, it's about 90 or 80-ish, but it is sloped with space armor package for the sides, so still, it's pretty good, but it's not 120 for the sides. Yeah, it's only 80 between the tracks. Let's see about the tier 8s. If the tier 8s are the same. It should be the same. Let's see. Yep, it's still 80 between the tracks. It's only 80 behind the space armor, not 90. But still, that's still pretty good. It's still 120 behind the exhaust. Alright. I mean, hull armor is alright. It's decent enough as a premium tank at tier 8. So you'll bounce a few shots with your upper plate. If you don't angle it, you'll troll a few shots when they hit the little triangular shape right here and right here, as well as the driver hatch, but you don't have the commander or loader cupola weak spot, so that's a big plus. Also exceptionally good gun depression, so it's a pretty good hull down vehicle. Pretty good. 50 kilometers per hour top speed, 15 reverse, about 14.8 horsepower per ton ratio. Let's see, with the actual, has a little bit better than the upgraded WZ-111s. I have vents and other stuff on it, but that's pretty good. let's see. Comparing this with a bunch of these. Configure, turn off all the garbage I have. Turn off all the additional browsers or field modifications. Stock engine power to horsepower per ton ratio is only 13.5. Wow, it gets about 1 more horsepower per ton ratio. So is that like the Tier 9? Wow, that is a power creep. It's also better than Tier 9. Is it like the Tier 10? It's about the same as the Tier 10. Wow, making the actual WZ-111s kind of pointless. But then again, these have preferential matchmaking, so this doesn't. But still, that's a big shift. Camo is 6.78 and heavy tankish, so faster hull traverse as well, 6.78ish. It's close enough camo, but this thing has vents. That doesn't count. The actual stock view range is 380, whereas this thing has 390. This thing is every way, shape, and form better than the actual WZ-111s. Holy crap! Yeah, everything's better. Does it have like also more health? Health-wise, it's the same health. Okay, I mean, the turret is a lot better, especially with gun depression. And DPM too. Stock DPM of the WZ-111 is about 2,000. This thing has about 200 more DPM with better penetration, obviously. So if you're in a Tier 8 tournament, obviously you will pick the model number 6 over the WZ-111, right? Holy crap. Shell velocity fast for APCR as default. That's good. High explosive anti-tank has more pen at the cost of shell velocity. And high explosive is high explosive, but you do carry 74 rounds, so that's good. Nothing out of the ordinary, but this is a very good heavy tank. Exceptionally better turret design than actual Chinese turrets with loader and commander cupola, but that's only for World of Tank basis. Nothing out of the ordinary. Comparing with the E75TS, the 6 or 4-yo Renegade. It has about the same DPM as the Renegade. About same penetration too at Alpha. Doesn't have the gun depression, but more elevation to compensate. Doesn't have the accuracy or the aim time, but it has better turret armor. Doesn't have the tumor on top. Is it just as fast? That's another big question. Less horsepower per ton ratio, but better top speed. Better camo too. Less view range, but 10 is alright. Holy crap! This is like a pretty good. It's also a breakthrough heavy tank. So let's take a look at equipments and other stuff. Is it the same for the WZ-111 as breakthrough? Yep, breakthrough heavy. At Tier 8, you want to have all-terrain suspension, so this will increase or decrease the terrain resistance, increasing your speed, even though it says -5 to hull traverse. Effective traverse has gone up, so you usually would want this unless you want to have more suspension durability, but yeah, you have repair tracks or repair skill, so this one usually for the best. First one. Better accuracy or better aim time. Ooh. Accuracy compared with aim time are both average or so. So I would say, since you already have a long reload, I would say better accuracy? Do you want 0.4 accuracy at 2.5 seconds of aim time? Or do you want 2.8-ish of a aim time but 0.36 accuracy? I think I will want better accuracy. Maybe. Or you could play like a 122 D25T-ish and just try to derp. But it's up to you. This one's a toss-up. And better view range at the cost of stun duration. So yeah, just hide behind rocks. you don't get stunned. That's practically it. So for equipments, I would suggest Vents to help out with everything. Vents is pretty good. Dispersion is also good for peekaboo, hold down tactics of moving the vehicle back and forth or jiggling. And obviously rammer, so the essential standard loadout for all heavy tanks usually, if you're focusing on combat. But yeah, usually you will want these. And go for the firepower boost for the second slot. But overall, I will rate this vehicle from initial stats of judging the turret and judging the hull from existing vehicles as a 7.8 out of 10. Maybe an 8 out of 10. It is very good. It is exceptionally high DPM, good turret design. Hull is, you already know the hull, so you already know how effective or not effective it is. But the only downside to this vehicle I could think of is likely the module health for the ammo rack. So you do need to have safe stowage for the loader. And with all Russian tanks or Chinese tanks, they tend to get ammo rack pretty easily. So ammo rack is very important, or safe stowage is very important. But high shell velocity speed, high DPM, alright enough accuracy, alright enough aim time, decent enough alpha, as well as penetration. Horsepower per ton ratio is not half bad. It's quite mobile. It's not blind. It's like an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. I mean, we already have enough premium Chinese heavy tanks, including the WZ-111 at Tier 9 as well. But this was the new hotness back in January of this year, or early January or so. But it's a 113 with a Object 140 turret. It has the Commander Cupola and Loader Cupola weak spot. DPM is only 2000. Penetration is average. Alpha is average. It only has 4 degrees of gun depression. Holy crap, that, ugh. Okay. Same health. Turret is obviously weaker for hold down tactics, especially 4 degrees of gun depression. Has more horsepower per ton ratio, so you play this thing like a medium tank, like a fat medium tank. Also less view range. Yeah, this is like a 6. It's okay. It's a 6-ish. I forgot how much I rate this thing, but yeah, for the Model 6, I think it's pretty good. There's nothing bad with it. Not really. Turret is strong. It's fairly mobile. Decent enough accuracy. Decent enough aim time. High DPM for a heavy at Tier 8. Even without a rammer, you could put a rammer and that goes up to like 2,500 or something with a good crew. That's pretty good. High shell velocity speed since it's APCR, even though you lose out on the normalization, but makes you better aiming at fast moving targets, shooting across the map, so you don't have to lead your shot. Armor is decent for the turret, very good for the turret, decent enough for the hull. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's like an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. It has the same mobility, should be, as the Tier 10 Chinese heavy tank, the 5A. The only downside is you don't bite as hard as the 5A with the 130, but still, it's okay enough since you don't have the turret weak spots where you get reverse shotted or counter shotted in the 5A into your cupola. This is like an 8 out of 10. Well, there you go, folks. We'll take a closer look at the HD pictures once it comes out. But for now, model number 6, WZ-111. Copy and paste the WZ-51's turret onto the 111, and there you go. There you have it. Premium Tier 8 Chinese heavy tank. They already have the HD textures on, so this could be holiday ops. So that's also a big bonus, but make this obsolete, make this obsolete, make this somewhat obsolete. Everything is obsolete, especially the 114 at Tier 9. We don't talk about that. That thing sucks. Well, there you go, folks. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.